It's coming from socialism. They don't want you to work. They want to pay for everything because if I can pay your stuff, I can control you.
That's what it's about, warriors. It's control. You know, anytime you say, I'm going to pay for this and this and this, it sounds good. Oh, they helping me out. But as soon as you don't do the way they want you to, they can snatch the rug from under your feet. It's about control. There's always a reason why that people do what they do. It's not always for a good reason. It may sound good in theory, but no, that's for lazy folks who just don't want to work. Welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Today, guys, we've got Pastor Alton R. Williams of World Overcomers in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh my gosh, this man preaches the true unadulterated word of God, and he talks about politics and what their plans are for us. You are not going to want to miss this. This is super educational. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch the video all the way to the very end. Pastor Alton R. Williams, I've done videos on him before, multiple times on this channel, and he really does let the truth come out of his mouth. And he says things that other pastors just won't say. Watch what he says here.
They don't tell you that. It ain't nothing but buying votes. That's what's going on. The government wants to stay in control, and young people today are buying into it. And Pastor, why are you preaching on this day? Number one, I want you to recognize what's coming and what's happening. Second thing I want you to learn how to do is how to pray, because the Bible says this: pray for those in authority so that you may have a quiet and peaceable life. The people in authority are controlling the chaos that's going on in our world.
And I want you, in case you missed it, he said something about they are buying votes. Allegedly, they are buying votes. I just want to make sure that everybody caught that.
Therefore, we got to pray for them so that our lives can be quiet and not chaotic, and our lives can be peaceable. So you got to learn how to pray. If you haven't started, you got to learn. And the next thing is, I got to help you recognize the wrong people that are pushing this agenda so you can know how to vote. That woman of God was the only one, and maybe the media didn't put it all out there, but we are not in a climate today that is pro-police. Ever since George Floyd, defund the police. So it ain't popular today to be on the side of law enforcement. I know God is. God says those in law enforcement are his ministers in the streets. And when I heard her get up and defend, we want to give you everything you need so you can protect us. Y'all, if you lose the police, and I know they ain't all perfect, but if we lose all the police, we up the creek without a paddle. Here's the reason why young people have not come back to work. Many have, but the government was still giving young people money. Even after the stimulus, they found some type of employment assisting thing where they were still paying folks rent, paying folk utilities, paying for their phone bill, their internet, and all that. I wouldn't come back to work either. You know, if I was at that age and didn't understand, I wouldn't come back to work either. So now you got to go to restaurants, you got to go to stores and businesses that ain't got enough help. Gentleman down the street just closed down his chicken wing place because he couldn't find enough help. We're entering a generation now that don't want to work. It's coming from socialism. They don't want you to work. They want to pay for everything because if I can pay your stuff, I can control you.
That's what it's about, warriors. It's control. You know, anytime you say, I'm going to pay for this and this and this, it sounds good. Oh, they helping me out. But as soon as you don't do the way they want you to, they can snatch the rug from under your feet. It's about control. There's always a reason why that people do what they do. It's not always for a good reason. It may sound good in theory, but no, that's for lazy folks who just don't want to work.
If you don't work, you shouldn't eat. So if you come to me for some help, the first thing I'm going to ask is you work. And ladies, you don't need to marry a man that ain't working. Socialism, y'all, is what's behind it. And it destroys what the righteous can do. If the foundations be destroyed, the foundation of our nation is being destroyed. And one of the main tools that socialism uses is chaos. Mm-hmm. So all the chaos you're seeing in the nation is planned. Mm-hmm. We got to divide folk. We got to turn black against white, gay against straight, Democrat against Republican, conservative against liberal, all the way down. It's all planned chaos because this is what socialism has always done. Mm-hmm. It's planned chaos. We got to use violence. Listen to me. In order to get this thing, we got to uproot what America is all about. We got to uproot it and put in a new system. We got to force change. We got to use violence. We got to put riots in the street. Do y'all know that when George Floyd died, 500 riots broke out in the United States? Not one person was arrested. Not one. 500 around the nation during George Floyd's riot. Why? Tear down them businesses. It was not only white businesses, it was black businesses that got burnt down. But they're trying to remove business out. One of the main things about socialism is we don't want business because business gives folks freedom to pursue their own happiness. So they burnt them all, many of them down. That's why they want to arrest the boys on the streets right now. Those are the foot soldiers for the socialists. Keep them on the streets so they can keep robbing the businesses and bringing it down. We don't want them in the jail. We need them out there to help us tear up business. There's an agenda to lead the boys out on the streets. And there are liberal DAs around the nation, including here in Memphis, that will not arrest those boys. I don't want them to, I hate to see any black boy get arrested, but if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
And you got to think about the fact that there's a reason why they do what they do. See, Democrats, I'm telling you, chaos. And if you study socialism or communism, you can see there's a playbook that they go by. And the Democrats allegedly are going by this playbook. They project their issues and what they're doing off onto their opponents. So they push it off onto the MAGA Republicans. They sow discord. They use the media. They do things like they talk about paying for this and paying for that. And they don't punish people for breaking the law. I mean, these are just the way they do things. So, but people aren't going to recognize it if they don't know the signs of socialism and communism. They're not going to recognize it. So this is what they're doing. They've done it in other countries. If we would just study and look, pray without ceasing, really surrender our lives to the Lord and say, God, show me the truth. We have to ask God to show us the truth. Okay, for our eyes, the scales to fall off of our eyes. Some of us walking around in darkness. We so worried about Donald Trump's arrogance. Yes, he can be arrogant sometimes, but are his policies good? Does he love this country? Yes and yes. And that is a fact. What we have now is chaos. They let black men go out on the street. I guess they said, well, we can't arrest the black people. They're hurting other black people. When people commit crimes, they typically commit crimes in their own ethnic group. It's not helping black folks to help the crazy black folks out here getting released back out to the streets to do whatever the heck they do, destroy businesses, destroy neighborhoods, do all kind of violent crimes against their own community. If they do the time, they behind, they A squared. I'm just gonna say it. They asses need to be put in jail. Facts.
Because if there's no punishment, if there's no correction, it continues to go on and they get emboldened. A black pastor here in Memphis got shot in the mouth because he was trying to stop some boys from breaking in cars on his church parking lot on a Sunday morning. And the DA go and drop all of the charges. There's an agenda. And ain't none of us safe no more. Because we don't have the job of the DA is to protect the people. But they give the criminals more rights than they do protecting the victims.
Hold on.
And I'm upset about it. I ain't going to tell you no lie, because I done studied and found out where the problem is. You can put 10,000 more folk on the streets. If the DA never punishes, it can never change. The police doing their job. They arrest them, but they put them back out on the streets in another 24 hours. So now we got chaos at the border. You know what they're saying? Come on in. We'll take care of you. We don't care if you're a rapist. We don't care if you're a criminal. Venezuela and emptied all of their jails and sent them to America. Come on in, just like you are. We ain't going to vet you. Come on in. We're going to give you free food. We're going to give you free housing. We're going to give you free child care. We're going to take care of you. Y'all ain't got, we're going to give you a free phone so we can track where you are. Free everything. All you got to do, since we let you in, just keep voting for us. We're going to make the rich pay for everything. We just going to charge them higher taxes, and then we're going to redistribute it so we can take care of you. And now the black citizens in Chicago, who they told they were going to do a $2 billion project for the hood to fix it up, they now diverting that money to take care of the migrants who have come in. And now black citizens in Chicago waking up to the party that has promised them and wouldn't do for them. Wake up, Black America. Y'all just vote us in. And then if we bring in more migrants, we can then outnumber, with the blacks we still have, outnumber anything white folk want to do, and we can take their power away. That's the agenda. Let me give you a little foundation, and I'm going to bring this thing to a close. How did socialism come about? It really got popular and started with a man by the name of Karl Marx. Put him on the screen. This dude right here been dead over 130 years, but he ruling from the grave. His philosophies have been taught down through the years. Let me give you a little history about it. He died in, 1883. So he died when he's about 64 years old. He's the son of a rabbi, but he was a pretty lazy guy. He never really had a job of his own. He stayed in the library all the time, didn't work. Let his wife work. He never did work. And so he'd go in the library every day, and that's where his philosophy was developed. And what was going on at the time he was living was the Industrial Revolution. That's another whole subject. But what was happening was, this is what he said. He looked over and he saw rich men that had wealth, that owned manufacturing companies, and they were getting richer, and he saw the poor people getting poorer. Now, I can understand that. But what he came up with a brilliant idea. He said, the way we can solve this problem is to have a revolution, meaning revolt. If I can get the workers which is more workers than the leadership or the ownership, if I can get them to turn against the boss and let them know, y'all poor, he making all the money. He using machinery, making you work it. Turn against him. cause chaos, cause class warfare, the poor against the rich. This is where socialism came out of. And it is the same going on today. Get the poor folk to turn against the rich folk. Let's get the taxes up so we can take more money. Do you know why the government gave incentive to the wealthy? Because what they were saying was, we'll put it in the tax laws and give you tax breaks. If you keep on creating jobs for the people, we'll give you a tax break. That was the purpose for putting it in there. Create more jobs. And so what he said was, we want an equal system. That's why you hear terms called DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's a socialist term. Get it in your head now. That's a socialist term. We want an equal system where everybody's equal and ain't nobody got a chance to get rich. That's what socialism is. And it came out of a system of jealousy of folk having money. The Bible promotes, if you got the ability to do it, it promotes you having wealth. God gave wealth to many of his men in the Bible. God ain't against wealth, but he's against wealth having you. Have I got a witness in here? So what he says was, let's do this. Let's get all the money. I need y'all to fight against the rich folk. We're going to take all their money. We're going to let the government have it. And then the government going to distribute it equally to everybody.
Wow. That, my friends, that is socialism. You know, it really is helpful for the lazy folks. Yeah, it's helpful for lazy people who don't want to work, because they're going to get what the people who do work get. Okay. How would you like it if, and he's going to talk about this later. I'll leave the full link in the description, but Pastor Alton R. Williams is going to go on to say, he gave an example where a person worked a lot of overtime so they could have extra money for the holidays. They worked a lot of overtime and they got their salary up to, say, $100,000 because they worked and worked and worked and sacrificed. And when it came time for them to get the paycheck, the people that the boss actually did not give them their whole paycheck. What the boss did was divided the overtime pay amongst everybody, even the people who did not work overtime. So they got, and it was divided equally. So the people who didn't work overtime got the same amount of money as the people who worked overtime. Now, you know, you would have a fit if you was expecting that big check and you only got a fraction of it because it was shared with some people who were lazy. Now, you know, I would be the first one complaining. I would be like, no, they didn't work. They left early, came in late. I'm staying late doing their work. They're going to get the same amount of money as I get. That's socialism. Okay, I don't like it because it lazy people be real happy with it. The people who work hard aren't going to like it. It's not fair. It's really not fair. It's not based on merit. It's trying to have an equal outcome, no matter if the input was not equal, because some people are going to work harder than others and they should be rewarded as such. So we don't want that over here in America. But you see signs of it right now: chaos, discord, fighting between the different groups of people. All the free stuff. I'm going to give you this and give you this and give you that. And we got to stop having, I got to say it, you know, I keep it 100. Some portions of our society are like, gimme, 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 gimme. And y'all who holler reparations, you're never going to get them. We're not going to get them. I said, you're not going to get them. And if we do get them, it's going to be used as a way to control. There's always a demonic reason behind this socialism stuff. So stop thinking like that. Stop waiting on get your hands out. That's a slave mentality. Work for what you get. But thank y'all for watching. Don't forget, I want you guys to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I am on my way to 100,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much. You can also follow me on X, TikTok, and Instagram as ChatWithMeLindaB. You can also email me, ChatWithMeLindaB@gmail.com. And I'm also on Rumble, ChatWithMeLindaB, but type it in as one word when you're on Rumble. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, the United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors.